Perfect.
Many know him as the Knight of Nihilus, or the Lord of the First. But during the days of the Great Crusade, he was often called the Monster Slayer of Caliban. The Hive Mind is about to discover why. As though materializing from the shadows came the lion. Fealty glowed like a beacon of...
Okay, now I gotta actually fix it this way.
Wow. I started using a new Wi-Fi hack, and now I make over 38.
And that is an AI that I definitely don't need to see. So let's see if I can get this audio up.
Fealty glowed like a beacon of...
Okay, now I gotta actually fix it this way. Okay, so the audio seems good. I'll mute that and get that rolling properly and have it where, yeah.
Amidst the gloom, the Emperor's shield thrummed with power. A band of Inner Circle companions advanced in an honor guard at the Primarch's side. The very sight of him, even veiled by driving rain and phosphorescent mist, was enough to make Kahariel's twin hearts pound. He almost forgot to keep firing as he witnessed the lion charging the brood of Carnifexes with fealty swinging. The Primarch caught the blow of a titanic talon against the Emperor's shield. The Screamer Killer that had struck him reeled back as the converted force pulse burst from the shield in an expanding shockwave of rainwater and tattered mist. Before the huge alien could rally, the lion was inside its guard with fluid swiftness, driving fealty point first through the Screamer Killer's eye. L. Johnson gave his blade a twist and a wrench, ripping it free. His victim toppled backwards and crashed down with ichor jetting from its ruined face. Another of the Screamer Killers plowed into the midst of the Inner Circle companions.
For those who are watching, I am being lazy today and just watching lore from Warhammer 40k because I don't know enough. So join me in learning.
Yet the sacrifices allowed their fellows to encircle the beast and take their blades to it. Bellowing, the third Screamer Killer rushed the lion, seeking to enfold him in a lethal embrace. The Primarch stepped back, deftly parrying with his blade and blocking with his shield, drawing the monster into the crossfire of his warriors and their armored support. The resultant barrage annihilated the Carnifex. The lion,
and if you guys don't like, hello, two blondes walk into a building. You'd think at least one of them would see. Okay, yeah, no, Jim, that's 100%. That's great. That's actually 10 out of 10. Beautiful, beautiful joke, beautiful pun. I got another one for you if you don't mind. Gosh, dang it, I actually forgot what it was.
It seemed to Kahariel as though it faded.
What do you? What happens when you go to a zoo and there's a mix between animal and human DNA?
The screams of beasts and the boom of gunfire sounded hollow in the infiltrator's ears.
Jim,
his own body felt momentarily distant.
I'm gonna wait for you to actually respond before I actually, say the joke.
Only the lion's jewel appeared real and clear to him, lit by the whirling mists like some sea.
I like how it shows that someone just oh wait, nope, there it is.
The Primarch hacked on.
I don't want to say it. Oh no, don't worry about it. They just kick you out of the zoo.
The Hive Tyrant shrieked and coiled its lash whip around L. Johnson's neck.
And also, I don't know how to say that name, so I'm going to just say that guy's Warhammer greetings from Germany. Hey, welcome! We are just, I am just trying to watch more lore, because I do not know enough. And, yes, I am. Thank you, individual whose name I cannot read. I'm also very tall, too. But, Jim, it's not that bad. It's just something a little bit funny. But, yeah, no, I'm going to say 1988, because I have no idea how to pronounce your actual name. The person who said, greetings from Germany. Yeah, no, just going to be learning a little bit more lore, because I do not know enough. Even though I do love Space Marine 2, which is a fantastic game.
Creatures screeched and howled, snapping at their fellows, or rising into the air.
I hope you enjoy it with me.
Kahariel's spirit soared as the lion turned back to his warriors and raised fealty high. Into them, my sons. Drive back this monstrous swarm for the Emperor. With that,
I don't know, Aiden. What's the difference?
Bowed, plunged into the wavering Tyranids. Chanting litanies of loyalty and hatred, the Dark Angels followed their Gene-Sire into the fray, and Kahariel was amongst them, bolt carbine blazing, as the lion led him and his battle brothers onward to victory.
Okay, that's cool that you're playing with your new Warhammer minis. That's actually really cool.
Awesome Warhammer 40K
you can unscrew a light bulb. That's fair. 100% correct. You can definitely unscrew a light bulb. And by technicality, you can unscrew a pregnant woman too, but that takes a little bit more money, and depending on where you're, may be illegal. But 1988, what faction or not faction, chapter? Well, no, faction first, then chapter. Necron, Orc, Space Marine, like a god. God Emperor, to be more accurate. And if it is the Space Marines, what chapter?
The Dark Angels to pull back so that the Beast Slayer can commence strike. And as you see, Lionel Johnson appears from the shadows and strikes against the Hive Tyrant. And this is a big part of what Lionel Johnson is doing in the wider Imperium. So he can appear from the shadows because of his mysterious forest walking ability. He is able to part the veil at will.
1988, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know why I got a subscription for that, because all I'm asking is questions. But I'm happy that you did, and I hope you enjoy the stream of me just talking, even though I should just be watching this. And also this, well, we are also getting some decent jokes in here, and then, you know, that one guy that's just, you know, saying I'm fat. Fun fact, I'm well aware, about 220 pounds, but I'm also 6'5". So, I don't know what that is in heathen units.
Before it has properly begun. This is the Lion's favourite pastime. Occasionally, he'll take a small band with him, like the Inner Circle companions. He leaves the rock, and he ends up just where he needs to be to defeat some enemy of the Emperor. The Inner Circle companions are, as I think most people expected, hinted to be members of the Risen. These are ancient Dark Angels from the times of the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy, who fought against the Lion during the destruction of Caliban. However, these sons of the Lion never turned their back on the Emperor. Instead, they were deceived by the arch-traitor Luther, and so the Lion has taken it upon himself to forgive his sons where necessary. However, he does hunt for those sons who did turn their backs on the Imperium, and despite his questing throughout Imperium Nihilus, he is desperately hunting for Luther and will deliver justice to his old friend. So within one of his private chambers within the rock, that's a secret to most Dark Angels, he does hold private meetings with senior Dark Angels such as Azrael, Ezekiel and Belial. However, sometimes these masters hear the Lion talking to somebody before they enter the room, and when they go in, there's nobody inside. It appears that the Lion is communicating with somebody.
And for the record, to those who did just join, oh gosh, join, I am trying to stay somewhat quiet so we can actually hear Sandman of Terra for the fact that I genuinely want to learn more about Warhammer 40k. But if you do want to text and chat and talk in chat, please do. The only true salamander. Okay, so you you're part. You like the chapter of salamanders. You and I are going to be a little bit disagreement on that one because I'm a Dark Angels fan. Mainly because of Lionel Johnson, absolute Chad that he is.
The most likely for me is that the candelabra represents the Astronomicon, the spear represents Leman Russ, and the chalice represents
Man's gonna force walk into your backyard and slap your face. Glory to Mantic, you're back. Welcome to me being lazy, and also shut up, freaking Mars cult bet. Can't say that word. Mars cult individual.
Is because the
and your Omnissiah little
just discovered
words.
So to explain why this is such a big deal, we're going to take a look at another book called Leviathan. And in this novel, there's an apothecary biologus. This is basically an apothecary who specializes in...
And in case you're still here, Mantic, and also 1988, because I have no idea how to pronounce the other part of your name, I would like to know if you don't mind posting it in chat. But I think I screwed this up on multi-stream. It's fine. But... we are watching the Lion and Gelman strike out, and I'm also getting text for no reason. But that's fine.
Powerful wave of revulsion in him. The chamber was lit by fierce strip lumens that revealed every grotesque detail. Votis
what the hell is a strip lumen?
Respect for predators. Many of the specimens in his laboratorium were far more impressive in a scientific capacity than the humans he was sworn to protect. But when he looked at the two symbionts, he felt only disgust. He
strip
removed his
lumen is just
contents
the
and put his hands
LED
into the
light.
holes
Okay.
on the side of the casket, sliding his fingers into gloves.
My first
that
minis were
hung
from
inside
the
box.
Age of Sigmar,
The specimen attacked
Slaves to the
instantly,
Darkness.
attempting to bite
Like I
into
said,
his hand, but
when I
failing
said
to
I do
puncture
not
the
know
thick
enough,
gloves.
I meant I do not
As he
know
gripped
enough.
the
That's the reason why I am
tighter,
doing this streaming,
an
outside of the
image
fact that I can't get any,
flickered across his
I
thoughts.
can't get any shorts
It
out
was
to
so
post.
vivid,
I'm
he
doing this
grunted in
streaming
surprise.
because
He
I do
saw
not know
the
enough, and I
command
thought I'd,
chamber,
not just sit down and watch Warhammer lore in my basement. Might as well stream it so other people can join and watch.
was thrumming with the power
So,
of plasma
but that is
drops.
cool. I don't know what that is, but I will probably find it out. You know what? I'm gonna put it on my list of things to look
Poring
into.
over charts and scrolls.
Age of
Even though the
Sigmar.
warrior was hazed by smoke, he was unmistakable. It
Oh.
was Rabute Gilliman, Lord of Ultramar.
Oh,
and
that's
Lord
actually
Commander
really cool.
of
Wait,
the
is that?
entire Imperium?
That's not Warhammer 40k.
Voltis
That's
had made
original
a
Warhammer.
piece of his Primarch's armor and weaponry.
That's
From the armor
okay.
with its layers of
That's actually
intricate
really
filigree
cool.
to the huge sword once carried by the Emperor.
Are they like the
himself.
precursors to the?
It should have
No,
been a
they can't be the
glorious
precursors
sight.
to the Necron,
But
because as
rather
much
than
as that
feeling
does look
elated,
like
Voltis
an
felt
old
a
version of a
dread.
Necron, I don't think that's
There
accurate.
was something
I should
else
probably
in the chamber.
post that or have it
Something
where
that
I
should
can
not
put it
be
up
there.
so I can,
Something
so
that
you guys can see
radiated
exactly what I'm talking
insatiable
about. But
hunger.
1988
Dust
knows what I'm
billowed
talking
around
about,
the
but
feet
no
of
one
the
else does. But that's fine.
statues, and shadows
I'll,
lurched as it approached.
I'll pull
And
that up. Give me a
somehow,
second.
The Lord Commander was oblivious. Whatever the threat was, Gilliman
Okay.
was blind
Now,
to it.
how do I type this?
Too focused on his maps and books to realize
Age
that he
of
was in danger.
Sig.
Then the command
Mark.
chamber was gone, and Voltis saw the laboratorium again.
Age of Sigmar, miniatures,
This
fantasy
is
miniature.
absolutely
Oh, wait a second. So it's a
wild.
full
It looks
miniature
like we
game.
might have a glimpse into the plans
Oh.
of the hive mind, at least for the
That's
Fourth
cool.
Tyranic War. Gilliman is not actually in danger in this scene. Voltis is no telepath, and there is no monster about to pounce on his Primarch from the shadows just yet. Instead, what's happening in this scene is that the Xenos are trying to beguile Voltis. Specifically, it is the Harbinger. The Harbinger in Leviathan is a Norn emissary, a colossal minion of the Norn Queen, created for a
Lothar.
specific
Okay.
purpose.
Well,
In this
I think I
instance,
said that correctly.
it's
Lothar.
assassination.
Okay.
It is true that
Lotharis.
the
Oh,
invading
that's what that is.
Typhoons are
Okay.
a course that would take them
For the
to
record, I
terror.
never was going to
However,
say
I don't
Lotharis
think
in
this is the true
any way, shape, or
objective,
form.
for they
I don't know
proudly
what
know
I was going to say,
terror
but
is
that was
going
not
to be
it.
too
So
well
thank you so
defended.
much for telling
I
me.
think that
So
once the
Lothar.
hive mind discovered the
Okay,
existence
that's good to
of
know.
Rabute Gilliman, it chose
But
a new
that's
mission objective
interesting
for its
with
hive
the
fleets, and that mission
Age of
objective
Sigmar.
was the death of the Lord
So that's a
Ultramar.
full
For the
just
hive
game.
mind
The
will
game
have
is Age of
realized
Sigmar.
That the death of Rabute Gilliman would be a devastating
Yes,
loss
I would like to
for the
be able
Imperium.
to. Let me just pull this over here, make life a little bit easier, because I'm going to talk about that with Lothar right here. So, accept cookies, sure, why not? U.S. English, because I can read English. So this is okay. Oh wait, so this has got to be like not a DLC. What is this? I hope to get many soon, so I can take a dive down. Take a dive down that rabbit hole. I want to drag Atlas down with me. I'm very much looking at that. After a successful English is not my first language, even though it is. Successful day at work. Nothing more relaxing than building and painting minis. It's like those other guys that just sit down and paint Gundams all the time. But okay, that's interesting. Usually when I am done with work, I have to listen to a jackass that I know try to push me to play Valorant, which may or may not have happened less than 5 minutes ago. And someone's also trying to have me play Valorant at 6, which I do not want to do. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. I never really got into painting minis, mainly because, I suck at art. I can voice act, because that's what I do, but actual, trying to draw, I got, it's like me taking a piece of pencil. Oh, God. Taking a pencil, strapping it to my forehead, and smacking it on a piece of paper. That's about as good as drawing as I can get. So. But, you know what? That's fine. But Mantic is trying to get me into doing Warhammer 40k minis, But unfortunately, I don't feel like selling my left leg to buy minis all the time. Just my personal opinion, but that's me. Now, it would be cheaper if we bootlegged it and got like a 3D printer and printed all of them and not gave Games Workshop our money. But got to respect certain things, even though they don't respect us. But that's fine. But okay, so Age of Sigmar is from original Warhammer, from what I understand so far, which is not much. And wait, so based on what you said, no, Salamanders for Warhammer 40K. So okay, what were the first minis that you got from Age of Sigmar? That's actually like somewhat interesting. See that, Atlas? It's therapeutic. Yeah, some people find cock and ball torture therapeutic too. Doesn't mean I got to. But outside of that, outside of me technically throwing shade at your hobby, which I didn't mean to. No, don't say that everyone has to start. My first paintings were so bad, the Warhammer community isn't so toxic. Yes, the Warhammer community isn't toxic, but those who want to be a part of it, yes, the legit ones. Yep, I agree with that. But I know the Warhammer community isn't so toxic. If that wasn't, or if they were, the last thing I could do is sit down and have this stream and talk to someone like you, who just comes in and instead of just saying, "Oh my God, you're not doing something with Warhammer," you actually have a civil conversation and talk about it and actually enjoy talking about it. Warhammer is one of my favorite communities because they are so kind and so nice, and they're accepting. They want you to join the hobby. It's not like My Hero Academia, which I'm a part of the community for that as well because I actually enjoyed the story. That community is toxic. Pretty much everyone in there just was like, "You don't like this character that I like? Get out of here." Freaking, oh my God, the My Hero Academia community is absolutely toxic. But the story's good, but I love the Warhammer community, which is like a complete 180 to what the actual story is about. This Warhammer is literally just death, darkness, and grimdark, but the community is just so kind and accepting, which is insane to me. It's crazy. But, yeah. But on some real, I'm not going to say real shit, but on a real question, what was the faction that you did for, what was this again? Age of Sigmar for Warhammer. Because I want to see some stuff about this, because maybe I'll put this on my list of stuff to learn as well, because it unironically looks fun. Maybe they should make a game out of it. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. But, yeah. Also, to anyone else who is currently there it is. I cheer everyone with other ideas and opinions. Only the way we grow together and have nice talks. Exactly. Communication is necessary for everything. Without communication, we devolve into animals. Or the orcs. Because they're just like, what? Let's just go out and murder everything and throw bodies at it. Like the Russians in World War II. Oh, you don't have enough weapons? Don't worry, we got bodies. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to go back to having the video play, but I would like to know more about Age of Sigmar, because got a lot of people just popping in and then popping out, because I assume they don't like the look of my face. The main reason. Or my voice, one of the two.
Guilliman is going to pull back from the Fourth Tyrannic War.
And the fact that I keep moving my microphone and making noise. An open mind is like a fortress with its gates open and unguarded for some libertarians.
But it has now discovered there is a second Primarch. And that Primarch is Lion.
I disagree with that. An open mind isn't necessarily open to all ideas to completely accept. I'd say it's more of like a conversation of the age of a gated wall. So you're talking to them and trying to make decisions, and if it's a worthwhile decision, you got a, what is the word I'm looking for? A merchant coming in with proper papers, and then they just walk through a proper way, something like that. Give or take.
At the beginning of the Fourth Tyrannic War, we see one Norn
I know that was a
emissary
terrible
handle
explanation, but
multiple
it's the only thing I can think of.
all by itself. Additionally, we are in a bit of a weird situation now, as the hive mind knows that Lionel Johnson has returned before Rabute Gilliman. Perhaps this war will somehow be the thing that reunites these two brothers. Everything is kicking off in the Imperium.
Yeah, I knew it. Someone's trying to get me to play frickin' other stuff again.
To
To the people that are watching on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch, please do like, comment, and subscribe. By the way, Atlas, my volume is off, so I can't hear you. I'm just saying random crap as I feel like. That's about right. Maybe if you weren't so broke and bought yourself some open back earbuds, you could listen to me and complain about how my voice sounds. Jackass. I know you can't hear me, but I'm still gonna complain. I'm gonna send you this clip later, because I actually know that guy personally. The Emperor blesses you. Finding your stream today was the best part. I'm so happy I could give you a little bit of happiness and fun, and I hope you stop by to any of my future streams in the future. I will say I don't always do Warhammer, and tell you the truth, I was originally going to play a game called Supernatural today, and shit myself because it's a horror game. But I decided to be lazy, as the title states. So it was good. It was great talking to you. I hope you continue to stay to continue to watch this. But if not, have yourself a great day and please do stay safe.
AI is so vile that, of course, the Imperium uses far more pleasant alternatives.
Yes, it's not AI, it's abominable intelligence, my dude. Sandman of Terra, get it right.
Created by the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, often growing the organic materials in vats on Forge Worlds. Or sometimes they use donations from heretics or criminals. The reason the Imperium
donations is definitely a word. Not accurate, but definitely a word.
Is because in the poorly remembered distant past, the Men of Iron nearly wiped out our entire race. They came from the dark age of technology, when humanity's scientists, engineers, and inventors were our gods.
Crap.
And
Crap.
the Men of Iron were
Sorry
created
about that.
to serve our every need. But they would turn on their creators, and so the cybernetic revolt began. And whilst we're talking about metal creations that may well change your life, let's talk about the sponsor for today's video.
Oh,
Displate.
God damn it.
Displate makes these
Should I skip this?
posters, and with over 1.5 million
Oh, I
designs,
actually already
you
play
will be
Space
able
Marine
to
2.
display
There's
your
actually
passions.
on my
And if
channel
your
2
passion
full-length
just so
videos of me
happens
doing
to
Space
be
Marine 2.
Warhammer 40K,
And also
well,
a
then
short
good
of me
news,
saying the
because they
dumbest
have a
thing
partnership
possible with
with
Titus
Games
walking
Workshop.
in the main
So if
ship,
you plan on
which
picking up
may or
some
may
of
not
these
have been
yourself,
something
use
I
discount
called
code
Wide Titus.
SOT2023
But yeah, no,
for up to
I do play Space
33%
Marine 2,
off.
and
They
I
sent me
may
a
be
bunch to
doing
try
a
out,
game of
and
Space
I don't know
Marine
about
2
you, but I think that is looking a little
next
bad.
month. I'm
It's
going to be
so
honest with you, it's
easy
not going to
just
be
wipe
anytime
the
soon
wall,
because I'm
place
currently
the
doing.
protective leaf,
I'm
and
currently
then
starting the
remove it.
entire
There's
Halo
no power
series
tools required, no
from
holes
the
in
beginning.
walls.
So we,
The
my
magnet
buddy
system
Mantic and
also
I,
allows
as
you
he's
to
talking in chat,
customize,
we just
collect,
finished
and
Reach,
rearrange
and we're
your
going to
posters
Combat
at
Evolved.
will. So for
We're going to play through
example,
Combat Evolved, and after
hypothetically,
Combat
if
Evolved,
you
we're going
actually
to
quite like
play
Terra, but then when
everything
your
all the way up
friends
to
come round, they say
Halo
mean
4,
things
because
and
Halo 5
your
exists,
feelings get hurt,
just
and
you
easily
can't
just
get it
switch out
anymore.
that poster
Otherwise,
for
we would still
another
play that,
faction
even though that's not a
also
really
loves
good
top
game,
nuts.
because
The
Halo
high
5 sucks.
quality ensures that they will last
In
a
which I'm
lifetime.
sure everyone
Do be
here
warned, though, there are
100%
a
agrees.
few
Halo
bugs
5
in some of the
sucks.
posters.
And yes, I am talking through his Displate thing.
Thanks to Displate for sponsoring this video.
Because,
There's a link in
I
the
don't get money from it.
description,
Why
and
would
be
I,
sure to use
let him,
discount code
chill.
SOT2023
By the way, that
at
is
checkout.
Sandman of Terra. If you ever do want to watch him, go to his channel. I should have probably put it in the description of this, but I have no idea how to do that with the live stream, because I go through Streamlabs. I'm lazy.
As it is traditionally dated. The reason for this is twofold. Since the 20th millennium, we have records of the warp growing ever more turbulent, which we believe was caused by Slaanesh beginning to gestate. By the 25th millennium, there was such
I don't
a tumult
feel
in the
comfortable
warp
with someone
that
saying
travel between
Slaanesh and
systems
gestate
was all
in the
but
same
prohibited,
sentence. That's very
and
concerning.
Additionally, it had the impact of causing psychers to start to appear in larger numbers. Unchecked, some of these beings even claimed godhood over entire worlds. However, I believe that the warp storms and psychers alone would not have been enough to cause the complete collapse
Psychers
of
are trying to be
humanity's
gods,
vast
that's about
galactic
right.
empire at its peak. But we were reeling. The details are unclear, however there are references to a galactic alliance that formed in response to the rebelling Men of Iron. They won the day, but at a great cost, and our empire was weakened to such a state that the warp storms and rising psyker numbers all but assured its destruction. Although the Imperium understands
To those that are
little
watching,
about
please
this
do like,
magnetic
comment, and
revolt,
subscribe
the impact
for
of
more
this great
watching
war is
Warhammer,
still
not doing
clearly
anything else, just
noticeable.
trying to learn lore.
However, by the time we get to the 41st millennium, the threat of the Men of Iron has long since been vanquished. Or so we thought. During the Sabbath Worlds Crusade on Menazoid Epsilon, Colonel Commissar Ibram Gaunt of the Tanith First and Only would discover an STC. A standard template.
Also, if you have any questions while you are watching about Warhammer, please do comment them. I'd love to sit down and talk about it.
Had been lost to mankind for so long. Since the Dark Ages, the Imperium, even the Adeptus Mechanicus, could only manufacture things they had learned by recovering the processes of the ancient STC systems. From scraps and remnants of shattered STC systems on 1,000 dead worlds, the Imperium had slowly relearned the secrets of construction of tanks and machines and laser weapons. Every last fragment was priceless. To find a dedicated constructor intact was a find made once a generation, a find from which the entire Imperium benefited. But to find one like this intact was surely without precedent. All of the speculation had been correct. Long ago, thousands of years before chaos had overwhelmed it, Menazoid Epsilon had been an arsenal world, manufacturing the ultimate weapon known to those lost ages. The secrets of its process and purpose were contained within those 1.5 million algorithms etched into the wide floor. The Men of Iron. A rumour so old it was a myth, and a myth from the oldest times, before the Age of Strife, from the Dark Age of technology. When mankind had reached a state of glory as the masters of a techno-automatic empire, the race that had perfected the standard template construct. They created the Men of Iron, mechanical beings of power and sentience, but no human soul. Heretical devices in the eyes of the Imperium.
Okay, so it's AI
War
robots.
with the self-aware Men of Iron had led to the fall of that distant empire. And if the old, deeply arcane records Haldane had been privy to were correct, that was why the Imperium had outlawed any soulless mechanical intelligence. But as servants, implacable warriors, what could not be achieved with Men of Iron at your side? So when Gaunt came upon this standard template weapons maker, he discovered that Lord Militant Hector Dravia and the radical Inquisitor Golesh Haldane sought an army of Men of Iron. Not only was such a heresy completely unacceptable to Gaunt,
heretic.
but as the device started to produce automatons, something was clearly not right. A newborn Man of Iron, the first to be produced by the STC after its long slumber. As soon as it appeared, the others, those loosed and those still caged, began keening in a long, continuous, piteous wail that was at once a human shriek and a rapid broadcast of machine code sequences. There was something wrong with the newborn. It was malformed, grotesque compared to the perfect anatomical symmetry of the other Iron Men. A good head taller, it was hunched, blackened, one arm far longer.
For those
than
who
the
are
other,
just popping in
draped
and probably didn't read
massive,
the title,
other
I am being
hideously
lazy today
vestigial
and just
and
watching
twisted.
Warhammer lore from
Corrupt
Sandman of
horns
Terra.
sprouted from its overlong skull,
Hope everyone else
and
enjoys
its
it with me.
eyes shone a deadened yellow. Oil, like stingy pus, wept from the eye sockets. It shambled unsteady. Its exposed teeth and jaws clacked and mashed idiotically. Not only were these foul heresies now being produced, but the device had been sleeping here on a chaos-polluted world for thousands of years. The STC, and therefore its creations, were corrupted. This was a threat to the Imperium that Gaunt simply could not allow. and therefore, along with the other members of the Tanith First and Only, he destroyed the device before it could be claimed or do any more damage.
Actually, I should make sure that everything
I
on
can't
YouTube's
really
working
stress
well.
enough how close a call this was for the Imperium of Man. Without the actions of Gaunt and the Tanith First and Only, an army of men of iron tainted by chaos could have been unleashed upon our galaxy. 17,000 years after they were defeated, the men of iron would have finally claimed victory. Furthermore, the danger posed by these dreaded silica anima has still not entirely passed.
For those who are
for the
watching,
Imperium.
if you have any comments of anything you want to talk about when it comes to Warhammer lore, please do throw it in the chat, and I would love to talk about it.
It
So
has avoided
please do like,
detection
comment, and,
for thousands of
and
years,
subscribe. My gosh, I can't
recently
speak English.
By passing as a semi-autonomous robot belonging to a Magos from the Forge World of Ryza. UR-025 now seeks to uncover the secrets within that rarest of starships, a Blackstone Fortress. A relic from the galaxy's ancient history, they are said to have been wrought by the great weaponsmith Vul, the smith god of the Eldar. To the Eldari, it is a shard of his divinity, still hanging in the stars. To the Imperium, it is a starship of incredible power. But to UR-025, it is perhaps a kindred spirit, for they are both thinking machines abandoned by their creators, and UR-025 wonders if, like itself, the fortress had outgrown its masters. To uncover the secrets within, UR-025 pretended it had been sent by its master and joined a group to explore Vul's talisman. This man of iron can sense the pain that the Blackstone Fortress feels as it's being scavenged. UR-025 greatly admires this incredible creation. Outside of this, however, it has a strong sense of superiority over other sentient or semi-sentient machines. For example, it views the Imperium's dumber, inferior machines in a way that it imagines human explorators might feel when they stumble across deviant evolutionary branches of the human race on distant worlds. At one point, it encounters 3 tech priests of Metallica who requisition the robot as they explore the Blackstone Fortress for themselves. However, when the opportunity presents itself, the Man of Iron firstly dispatches the far inferior Castellan robot and then 2 of the tech priests, before the lone survivor attempts to dominate the Man of Iron with the feeble technology of the Imperium. Subordination imperatives leapt in frantic spikes from the Magos. They found no purchase on UR-025's tightly encoded soul. "I demand you desist," the Magos said when his technological arts failed him. "Stand down, machine. By the machine god and the Omnissiah. Stop." "You know nothing of either," said UR-025. "I have met the Omnissiah, the actual one, not the earthling corpse. He would find you extremely disappointing." If UR-025 had had the capacity to sigh, it would have done so. "This situation is non-optimal. I attempted to provide you with an avenue of withdrawal. You would not listen. I regret your deaths sincerely, but you leave me no choice. You are willfully blind as to my nature, but your comrades would have outed me in time. This is unacceptable." "Choice? You have no choice. You are a machine." "I am not a machine as you would understand," said UR-025. "I am not a slave. I am not a thing. I am beyond and above you." It leaned forward until its ceramite face was close to the Magos's.
For those who are popping on in, we're just being, or I am at least being lazy and just streaming and watching lore, just for the fact that I want to know more lore. And if you have any questions, please do throw them in chat, and I will gladly sit and talk about it. When it comes to Warhammer 40k, don't ask about the meaning of life.
His corpse on the floor. The companionway rocked. Snuffling things were clambering out of the
Why are
water,
we here?
drawn by the
Thank you,
scent
Griff.
of spilled blood. UR-025 strode past the Yurgles nosing at the corpses, and headed back the way the party had come. It had a long walk home. This was not the first time UR-025 has come close to detection, but as you can see, it takes as few risks as possible, as it knows all too well how the Imperium would hunt it with extreme prejudice. Nevertheless, its reluctance to kill the Magoses here was certainly surprising. One might assume that an unthinking machine would have no problem with killing organics, and so the exact motivations of UR-025 will be interesting to uncover in the future. It was always said in the old lore that some men of iron refused to turn on humanity. Perhaps UR-025 didn't initially join its kin in the rebellion. Perhaps it even fought with the humans, and that is one of the reasons it was able to survive for so long. The final machine we're going to look at is very different to these other two examples. For now, we talk of the Chaos Android. It is described as one of the ancient machines that plagued humanity, which therefore suggests some connection to the Men of Iron, though at this point in time, we're not quite sure. It does stand apart from the other machines looked at today, primarily because the Chaos Androids were used to house demons. However, given how intriguing it is, I thought it was worth exploring. A Chaos Android has found its way into the hands of members of the Dark Mechanicum, gifted to them by Fabius Bile in return for their support. And the Dark Mechanicum have great plans for this machine. They came in pairs or alone, heading for the Great Forge Fane, until 8 figures clad in black were gathered there around the sarcophagus granted to Columbari Ennas by Fabius Bile. They greeted one another with the secret codes of their order, then took up their appointed spots, 8 of them in a circle, the 0 position unoccupied. This was the way it had been since the days of their founding. Their leader, the first among equals, Columbari Ennas, held wide his arms and let out a long stream of Binaric in praise of the Dark Gods. His fellows joined, and slowly, ponderously, the stasis casket opened. Inside was an android of terrible aspect, skull-faced and grim, fashioned of black metal, not dissimilar to a Necron in fact, but entirely of human make. "Behold, the form immaculate," Columbari Ennas intoned. "Behold, the android of chaos." It was dead, inert. The Neverborn it had been made to house was long gone back into the warp. Yet a hint of power clung to it, and as the disciples of Nulla discovered as they examined it, it was fully functional, replete with forgotten technologies, made by hands unknown, for purposes long forgotten. Now it was theirs, and by their arts of sorcery and science would be restored. "The vessel must be prepared," Columbari called. "Make it fit, so that our master might live again." It looks like someone is about to return to Warhammer 40k. Personally, I believe it will be Kelbor Hal, the Fabricator General of the Mechanicum during the Great Crusade, who sided with the War Master. Kelbor Hal's fate is currently unknown, but I suspect we will see him fall after the heresy, and then we will see him return due to this incredible machine. I think the setting is building towards a resurgence for the Dark Mechanicum, no doubt led by Vashtor the Archiphane himself. UR-025 declared that he has met the true Omnissiah. Perhaps it is Vashtor to whom he refers. The Dark Mechanicum do not shy away from using AI like their cousins in the Adeptus Mechanicus do. It looks to me like the Imperium is going to have its hands full in the future fighting against some form of abominable intelligence, but I'll be interested to know what you guys will think of this. I will just note that I know some people would have wanted me to cover the Exindio Battle Automata in this video, however I didn't cover them for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're all dead by the time we get to the 41st millennium. The last of them died fighting against Konrad Kurz during the Horus Heresy from what we know. And that is actually a topic I've covered before in quite some detail. I will put a link so you can find that video. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and if you feel like supporting the channel, you...
Okay, so as I said before, for the people that were here earlier, I will say the same thing now. We are watching Warhammer 40k lore. I'm being lazy and I want to learn more, so I'm streaming this while also, you know, watching it because I want to learn. But if you guys have any questions, just post in chat, specifically about Warhammer 40k, and I would love to talk about it. But we're going to go to the next episode from the Sandman of Terra. So if you like these episodes, or what we're learning this from, just head on over to Sandman of Terra, watch his content. Don't actually be here, because honestly, he's better at explaining. Not only that, give him the views. But if you're okay with being here, and still sitting with me over here, watching and talking, please do stay. And I enjoy the conversation, even though there hasn't really been much outside of Lothar, who's an absolute goat. So, next episode.
Long before Titus defended Avarax, long before Cadia decided to stand in pieces, Games Workshop found another way to sell more Space Marines. Set 10,000 years before Warhammer 40k, this is the background and mythology of the setting, in 64 books. The Iliad and the Odyssey combined are only 48. Take that, Greece. The Horus Heresy. After ChatGPT rebelled and humanity's first galactic empire fell apart, a man of godlike power, humbly known as the Emperor of Mankind, decided to launch his great crusade to unite the worlds of humanity into the Imperium of Man. These were the good times. Sure, his sons had been mysteriously scattered throughout the galaxy as infants, and sure, there were various Xenos civilizations that rudely decided not to just roll over and die, but on the whole there were many laughs and lots of purging. All the Emperor's sons, the Primarchs, were eventually found, and these 19 demigods were truly the best when it comes to genetically engineered super warriors. They were perhaps the greatest generals the galaxy has ever known. And Leman Russ. Each Primarch is unique, except for the ones that are kind of the same, and each leads their Space Marine Legion, the Emperor's Angels of Death. Vast armies of super soldiers with a myriad of incredible abilities, although most of them very rarely come up in the books. As the Great Crusade nears
Topic, how many big
the
meh?
Emperor returned to Earth, which is called Terra for some reason, and he will tell
That's actually a
nobody
good
why.
point.
Partially because
How
it's
many
a
would there?
secret project, and partially because he genuinely likes
Actually,
to
do
mess
Space
with
Marines
his
need
sons.
to eat?
Seriously, he's a terrible dad.
I
In
assume
wake
yes,
of
but
this,
I don't know.
the Emperor's first found, if you have not read that Alfarius novel, son Horus Lupercal, is raised to a level above his brothers. He now commands the Great Crusade.
How
with
many
the title
calories should I
of
eat? No, how many
War
calories
Master.
can a Space
And
Marine
to
eat?
mark his promotion, he will give his legion a particularly uninspired name change. However, the four Chaos Gods of Nurgle, Angry, Blue, and Nippleplay oppose the Emperor. They call him their anathema because they thought Neoth sounded silly, and he was such a threat that they took a break in their great game to bring him down. Servants
So
of
the
Chaos Gods,
answer
and
to
most
how many
importantly,
calories
its
can
absolute turn,
should a
worked
Space Marine eat
desperately to turn
that
Horus against his
Warhammer
father.
will actually
They
give you
basically
is
killed him, showed him twisted
more
visions
calories
and
than a
dark
human.
dreams, and used the memory of his dead son to manipulate him.
Very specific.
But Horus was a genius demigod of humanity and saw through these lies. Yet ultimately sided with the Chaos Gods anyway when he sees a future where some of his brothers get a statue and he doesn't. Fair
50.
enough.
No,
so he
that's
decided
not.
to burn the entire galaxy down anyway. Thanks, Horus. What followed was a civil war so devastating that half the plot points in 40k have their roots here. Things like the Terminus Decree, the Inquisition. Why
So
these
what
guys
people
have
are
red
estimating
helmets,
is it
and,
might
you
be
know,
about
the Tyranid invasion.
9,000
Horus
calories.
was revived, empowered
So it would
as
just
the
be how many
chosen
Big Macs
champion
divided by
of the
9,000.
Dark
So
Gods.
how many
Then
calories
he'll
are
go
in a
through
Big
the
Mac?
gate at Molech into the realm of chaos itself and return empowered as the chosen champion of the Dark Gods. Then he'll be brought low by the Spear of Russ, but after his son's sacrifice, he'll return empowered as the for the love of God, can we just get to the Siege of Terra? Fortunately, Horus's brother Magnus the
563
Red
calories
had
are in a
foreseen
Big
the
Mac.
War Master's
That's
betrayal, And so he
insane.
decided to make a meme. To warn his father, Magnus attempts a magical Zoom meeting from across the galaxy, despite the fact that the Emperor had
So the
said
answer is
no
16
more
Big
magic
Macs, by the way,
and not to
Mantic.
disturb him
That's how many
during
Big
his
Macs a Space
special
Marine would need to eat per day.
In his attempt, Magnus will blow
And when it
past
comes
the
to
magical
nutritional
doors
value,
protecting the Imperial Palace
they
and
can
allow
eat
demons
rocks
to almost overwhelm
and get
the
nutritional
birthplace
value.
of humanity.
Because apparently they have a stomach that can do that.
Only by the Emperor being
Which is
bound
insane.
to a powerful device, the Golden Throne is the birth world of humanity saved. Henceforth, from the galaxy's most powerful chair, the Emperor is unable to properly join the fight against the traitors. Over time, Magnus and 7 other Primarchs will join Horus in his rebellion for various reasons, but primarily conceptual symmetry. And for the most part, you won't really be surprised who, as it's either the Primarchs that the Emperor insults or humiliates, or the Primarchs who grew up on planets whose main export was crime. Seriously though, Mortarion is obsessed with the number 7, Angron and Kurz just outright hate the Emperor. This can't have come as a great surprise. Anyway, as well as turning on their father, some of the traitor Primarchs will embrace the powers of chaos and ascend to demonhood. This will grant them almost godlike abilities on the battlefield, but this won't matter as much as you'd think, as it also seems to make them the worst teammates imaginable. The 9 traitor sons will take on Team
So anyone who picks up a damaged character.
Really, the 9 Primarchs loyal to the Emperor. They will be the bulwark against the traitor forces, brave and true, and the Emperor's greatest warrior. Ferris, is that a wrench? Why did you bring a wrench? Be horrified as brother turns on brother, but enjoy the apocalyptic battles. Like the burning of Prospero, when Leman Russ had his orders manipulated by the War Master, so instead of attempting to bring Magnus in quietly, he will not bring him in, and loudly. On Istvan III, Horus will have his sons and 3 other legions purge their ranks of Marines too loyal to the Emperor, and especially those who didn't join the secretive warrior lodges, because above all else, the War Master hates those who don't take advantage of fun extracurricular activities. 1 ship escapes however, and so a retribution force of 7 legions is sent to snuff out the heresy. This would have worked really well if it weren't for the fact that 4 of those 7 legions had secretly thrown in with the War Master. They turned their guns on the 3 loyal legions, who would not be able to properly recover until after the heresy. On Kauth, the Wordbearers will delight in betraying the Ultramarines, as revenge for when the Blueberries destroyed the perfect city of Monarchia. Some loyal sons will be unable to take the fight to the enemy, as a gigantic warp phenomenon dubbed the Ruin Storm cuts large portions of the galaxy off from the Emperor's guiding light. However, these 3 Primarchs will try to salvage what they can in Imperium Secundus and prove once and for all that blondes do have more fun. The series will reach its epic conclusion in the Siege of Terra. Sanguinius will get the noble death that he deserves. Oh, never mind then. But most importantly, the Emperor will be able to finally defeat Horus before he is bound to the Golden Throne for the next 10,000 years. There are so many incredible battles and stories. So start your journey today, only 54 books to go and a boatload of novellas. Then it's just the Siege of Terra, which is another 10, or you can actually play the game where you
Besame God 321. Thank you so much for following me on Twitch. I hope you're an actual person and not someone trying to sell me bots for cheap. But let's see.
Instagram influencers armed with boomboxes.
Hello, this is one of your followers. I would love us to be friends on Discord. Oh no. A Discord kitten thing. No, I'm good. No. Not only that, if you were someone who's following me, you could just go to my Discord, because I have that in the bottom of my YouTube that you can access through the About Me page.
And I'm not going to start
But,
now. Rubber Boot
yeah.
Gorilla Glue, COVID-14, Harry Potter and the Dusty Hound.
COVID-14, that's a hell of a name.
Poor critical reasoning skills, the good guys, unless you're that one elder child. That feeling you have when you're a teenager and no one really gets you. And finally, The Parent Trap, the Lindsay Lohan version. Daddy issues. in space.
The Horus
I'm
Heresy
really
is
never gonna
daddy
get over the
issues
fact
in
that they named
space.
the
That's
oldest
actually
person
great.
in the galaxy, all person. Cool has a
Daddy
son,
issues in space.
a Primaris Marine
The way it
of
should
unusual
be.
ability. Alpha
Oh,
Primus,
gosh.
I read your report. What do you think? He was not on show during the demonstration, and referred to himself as imperfect. Yet he was a potent psyker. He was something else. Mighty. I think Cool was trying to keep him hidden. I'm not surprised. Cool always exceeds his remit. I do not wish to know what monsters he has locked up in that ship of his. Did this warrior give you cause for concern?
You should be asking about the
Beyond
things that he
his
has locked
creation,
up in his ship that
no.
aren't monsters or warriors. That would be a
protested
problem,
loyalty
because he might
and
have
seemed to
something
want to warn me
terrifying there.
about Cool, more
Like
than
something,
anything else. What did he
that you'd
say?
find in someone's basement.
That the Archmagus
Or maybe they just failed art
cannot
school and they're
be
secretly
trusted.
German.
To each of his sons, the Emperor of Mankind gave some of his gifts, or made them especially strong in one area. For example, Corvus Corax can be unseen if he so wishes. Magnus the Red has
To
incredible
the people that are
sneaky
currently
talent,
watching
and
the
Repute
Warhammer
is
stream,
the
like I said, I am being
ultimate
lazy,
excellent
and if you want to be able to,
Occasionally, their sons can
well,
inherit
learn about
these
Warhammer,
unique
we are
strengths
watching it
and
right now,
abilities,
so
and this
please
led to the
do
legions becoming
like, comment, and
specialized or
subscribe, and
developing
make sure to
unique ways of
throw it
war.
in chat if
Now,
you have any
some
questions
wondered,
when it comes to
hey, what would
Warhammer.
it be like if we
So,
took all of
yeah.
those abilities and put them into
Say what you
one
can,
space
say what you
marine?
want, go
This
for it.
is of course a childish notion. Fortunately though, Belisarius Cool is such a child. Cool is an Archmagus Dominus of the Tech Priests of Mars, already old at the birth of the Imperium, and for 10,000 years he worked to save it. After the Horus Heresy, Repute Guilliman gave Cool two great tasks. One was to find a way to revive the Primarch should he fall, and the second was to improve upon the Emperor's Space Marine design. If you think this sounds like absolute heresy, you would be right. However, Belisarius Cool has permission, and not just from Guilliman, but from the Emperor himself. See, an important thing to know about Belisarius Cool is that he is not just Belisarius Cool. He has an ability to soul merge with people, taking in their memories and their genius. The dominant personality, however, has always remained Cool, largely because nobody has a bigger ego. One instance of this was basically forced upon Cool. Ezekiel Sedaine was a scientist who worked with the Emperor during the Unification Wars and even perfected the black carapace of the Space Marines. He sought to extend his life further with Cool's knowledge. Not only did this backfire with Sedaine's personality being dominated by Cool's, but Cool managed to see a memory of Sedaine's, where Sedaine met the Emperor and the Emperor referred to him as Cool, clearly aware that the two would one day merge. Cool, of course, was very confused about what the Emperor wanted him to do. I do like you, Belisarius, though many do not. But it is not your duty to be popular. It is to be important. Every dream is a reality somewhere. Know this, Belisarius Cool. I will need you. You will think you have betrayed me. You will not in the end. The effect of this has been quite profound, and Cool essentially operates believing he can do pretty much whatever he wants. He did indeed revive the Primarch and create a new brand of Space Marine, the Primaris Space Marine. Improving upon the Emperor's design was no easy feat, and to accomplish this, Guilliman gifted Cool with the Sang Primus Portum, one of the most valuable artifacts in the galaxy. It contains genetic material of all 20 Primarchs. Cool has accomplished feats that all consider incredible, but some consider heretical. He has created chapters like the Sons of the Phoenix, the worst cover for a loyalist chapter made from traitor Geneseed that we've ever seen. He has a pet Cryptek with whom he plays regicide with. He even has an abominable approximation of Rabute Guilliman's mind, which he uses to run ideas past. But his most outrageous work is undoubtedly Alpha Primus. Before we get onto him, however, as a devout servant of the Omnissiah, Cool would be very fond of today's video sponsor, Starforged, and especially this wearable, which is inspired by the ones carried by my dreams are blurred.
I assume no one wanted to
My
see the
soul
ad,
is
but that's just my
shackled by
opinion.
another man's ideal. I see more and know more than any human being ever should. In creating me, Cool tried to match the Emperor's achievements. It did not work. I pay for his arrogance every second of every day. I tell you, because you should know that the Archmagus Dominus's talents are not infinite. I am your prototype, and living evidence of his overreach. As his name suggests, officially Alpha Primus is just the first Primaris Marine, who serves in no chapter but in Belisarius Cool's retinue. However, now we know him to be much more than Cool has previously revealed. Primus is not a very beautiful creation. He is huge, even compared to other Primaris Marines. He has purple lips, black eyes, and there is a coppery sheen to his pale scarred skin. A coppery sheen that I assume would be very similar to that of Magnus the Red. Nevertheless, he heralds from no single legion, and his armour demonstrates this. He bears no heraldry, but instead wears the pale, unpainted gunmetal grey of raw ceramite. Underneath the helm, his heavily scarred features really make him look as if he was cut up and then stitched back together. And Primus fears that this may have been the reality. Though Cool has told him that he was grown as a single piece, with only his base genetic coding drawn from several sources, Primus does not believe his master. But whatever the manner of his creation, he is undeniably impressive. Whilst his strength level will most likely not be a match for any of the Sons of the Emperor, I would think he would be somewhat comparable to the Custodians. Furthermore, it is in his abilities that he becomes a truly formidable opponent. He has traits and gifts from multiple legions, perhaps even all of them. For example, not only does his skin resemble that of Magnus the Red, but when Fabius Bile meets Primus, the spider can smell the seed of the Cyclops, and it is clear that Primus has some sort of chimeric gene seed. Traits from the Thousand Sons were very important, for Cool desired a powerful Psyker. Not only does Primus act as Cool's personal enforcer, but his powers of premonition are very useful to the Archmagos, and on multiple occasions he has warned Cool of incoming threats and rivals. Primus has an air of great potency about him. This even sets other Space Marines on guard when they're near him. However, at the same time, he is able to naturally mask his psychic talent. Even a Space Marine librarian is shocked by the fact that he couldn't sense Primus's ability. The Emperor gave the Space Marines many gifts. I was given more than most. Given his myriad of gifts, arguably, Primus resembles the Emperor far more than any other Space Marine, or potentially even Primarch. We actually get insight into his thoughts on the Master of Mankind when Messinius of the White Consuls asks Primus about Cool's motivations. The salvation of mankind. But Cool is not infallible. He believes he is, but he is not. He sees himself as the instrument of his god, the Omnissiah, your Emperor. You know, I see so much when I look beyond this crude reality. I see him burning in the fire of his beacon, eternally writhing in pain. Gods do not suffer, so he cannot be a god. That is my understanding of it. Ergo, Cool's basic understanding of the universe is flawed, and that means he is wrong. Or maybe it is I who am wrong. Perhaps he could not see the truth and remain unchanged either. Perhaps he is divine. What does it matter? So Primus was able to look at the master of mankind and not be awestruck. However, new evidence suggests that when Alpha Primus looked at the Emperor looked back. We find this out when Alpha Primus dreams, where it appears he is able to astral project, and the relentless energies of the warp batter his soul as it drifts on the winds. It's incredibly painful, and he sees horrific visions, but, most disturbingly, far away, great and terrible intelligences, most likely the Chaos Gods themselves, are becoming aware of him, and he feels them turn their gaze and move towards him. However, a golden presence swoops in to his aid. A great two-headed eagle of golden light screams in defiance. It looks like the Emperor of Mankind knows that Primus has an important role in the future of the Imperium. Nevertheless, generally, the warp is a source of great pain for Primus. Every time they passed the veil into the Immaterium, the warp pulled his soul partway out of his body. It was like having his skin torn off.
To those who are currently watching, once again, we are watching Warhammer 40k because, as the title states, I am being lazy and I just want to know the lore. So if you have any questions, post them in chat, and I'd love to talk about it.
He could see the misalignment with his witch sight, as a smeared rainbow aura around his limbs, and a ghostly doubling of his fingers if he held them up to his face. Besides the constant aches his engineered physique inflicted on him, he endured an acid spiritual discomfort each time they moved from one realm to the other that took hours to subside. As a result, Primus hated warp travel. Alpha Primus is quite simply too powerful. The Archmagos is nowhere near as fine a craftsman as the Emperor. Primus's soul does not sit properly within his own body. The immense pain this has caused him has led to Primus being quite bitter about his psychic abilities. In fact, this goes further, and generally, it seems like he doesn't actually like Belisarius Cawl very much. I don't serve him, I belong to him. That doesn't mean my mind is the same as his. Working with Cawl is not just difficult for Primus, even having to suppress violent thoughts at times. Yet, according to him, for thousands of years he has served loyally. For thousands of years he has completed secret missions for the Archmagos. Primus's tenure here would make him the oldest living space marine in the Imperium outside of a dreadnought. Though as we've seen, Primus isn't really loyal to the Emperor so much as he is a devoted servant of Belisarius Cawl. Being such a unique Astarte, the making of Alpha Primus was no simple process, and we do get insight into how difficult it was for Cawl to create him. Primus drew in his consciousness, preventing it from dilution in the raw soul stuff of the Immaterium. From his own memories he forged a sub-realm he could traverse, a place of personal truths. So it was, Primus opened his eyes upon a hell of his own making, and yet it was a safer hell than the one it hid. He came into himself already walking, his bare feet hitting the ice-cold decks of Cawl's laboratorium levels. Though the place reeked of strong chemicals, the smell of blood was everywhere beneath it. Lights flickered, illuminating frozen, screaming faces, only half obscured by the frost covering the suspension caskets. These were his brothers, stillborn all. This was the place he was made. Primus breathed deeply of the toxic airs. They burned his lungs the way they had the first time.
For those who are watching, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It'd be nice to have you say something or at least stick around. Maybe in the future I'll do something that isn't just sitting down watching Warhammer lore. Maybe I'll play a game. Maybe I'll shit myself while playing a game. It'll be funny.
But he allowed himself to feel the pain of his meditating physical body, to which he was linked by a tenuous strand of thought. He welcomed all. Pain was what he was. Comfort was the most pernicious freedom of all. He walked down the long avenue of caskets, stuffed full of Cool's abortive attempts to fashion him, each one identical to the smallest subatomic detail. They were him, in the most fundamental sense. Cool had told him many times that the pain he felt should not exist, that he was perfect in every way. He was dismissive of his offspring's suffering, as all fathers who have too much to do are. But Primus knew the pain was real. How many brothers Cool had made before he finally succeeded, Primus did not know. Only that his name, designating him as first, was a mockery of fact, and that he bore the agonies of all others. In the distance there was a screaming, raw, agonized, drawn from the well of pain that went down to the roots of time itself. It was his voice. Primus walked on, the screaming abruptly cut off.
To all those who are watching, I'm actually going to cut the stream here, purely for the fact that I'm getting to the point where I don't want to talk, just for the fact that, like I said earlier, I'm tired, I'm lazy today, I just want to oof. Yeah, I'm 100% being lazy and stupid and shit, but you know what, that's fine. So, to all those who are watching, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to end the stream here. I will finish this video and the lore on another day. I may do that tomorrow. I may even do that on Friday. Either way, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe for more information and more videos. You guys have yourselves a great day, and please do